I have figured out a way that they get your order right every single time.
Share.
You just order it the way it comes and you fucking eat it.
I
The
think-
way you lit up like I was going to give you a life.
Dude. And we kind of have this weird moment, and I'm like, I just point. And I think she probably thinks like, this guy's trying to get me to get out of my car. You know, there's all kind of weird. And I'm just like,
If you have a Metal Gear tattoo and I see you out in the wild, I'm talking to you.
Meta reached out to us.
If you got Cheez-Its, you're not going to have them tomorrow. It's just... Welcome back to The Hardpoint. My name is Josh. I go by Onexpunchxdad online.
My name is Cody. I go by Code Roams.
And this is our 16th episode. Oh, my God.
16.
God.
I got to say, this is the first episode I've ran into that
You don't have an athlete on
I can't
deck.
think of somebody off the top of my head.
Oh, 16, man.
It's a weird number. It's a weird number.
Is it really?
Kinda like I don't know.
I guess there's like certain numbers that just don't happen a lot. I mean,
it's not that cool of a number for starters.
yeah.
Like if I was QB, I wouldn't be picking 16.
So I know in football, like your numbers kind of affect well, your position kind of affects what number you get, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I was always a tight end, so I was always 88.
Right.
That was always my number. I was 88.
Yeah. That somewhat recently has kind of changed. You'll see weird positions with weird numbers, like I don't know, defensive backs with 8 or just something kind of weird like that.
Huh.
I don't know the exact parameters on it, but I don't have a 16.
Huh.
And we started this back on number 7, Michael
That is a
Vick.
hard point first, ladies and gentlemen. Good God. The sportsman.
And there's probably a very obvious one. I just I don't have one.
Someone is screaming at their car radio right now that we don't know one of the most famous 16s.
I would just like a round of applause for my honesty, though, because
I
didn't look it up.
Thank you for being forthcoming. Can we look? I'm going to look it up right now.
Look up a 16.
Let's see. Famous athlete number 16. Joe Montana was number 16.
Way before my time, though.
Yeah, but it's Joe Montana.
Probably should have known him.
Whitney Ford, Roy Keane, don't know who that is. Bobby Clark.
Looking for a current.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of pictures of dudes who look like they haven't been playing football in many years. So, okay. Famous one, arguably, Joe Montana.
I almost went
you
10. I went from 7 to 16.
I'll give you a pass.
I'm already thinking next week to 17. I'm like, who's that?
I know. We're kind of in a weird block, man.
I knew
We're
the
in
late teens were going to be tough.
The awkward years of our adolescence, man. How you doing this week, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I appreciate you coming down and hanging out.
Dude, I love it. We love in-person episodes.
Yeah.
It's always a delight to get to do it. We usually, every time we make it a thing, man. We get some food to eat. We come to the table. I brought my kids with me. I brought my sons with me. Actually, we're having kind of a boys' weekend, so it's just me and my 2 sons.
Yeah.
Rolled up here. I actually mistakenly. So we stopped. They always want to get road snacks.
Yeah.
Whenever we take a trip, and so I said, you go in there, you get 1 salty, 1 sweet snack. All right.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. And they both got like the little cargo pouch sized. One got sour gummy worms, and the other one got, I don't know, like gummy bears or something.
Sure.
But by the time we got here, they were both like the classic, like 1950s, like I have a tummy ache. Like,
I got the little notification that you guys rolled up, so I came to the front door, opened it. I expected a whirlwind, right?
No.
And both the young kids, they jump out of the car and they go, "Oh, my tummy ache." I was like, "What?" Both of them hopped out and said that.
Teachable moment right there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been eating. I don't know if you've found these or seen these. I like to eat a lot of protein, right?
Okay, right.
They have these little, I think it's Hillshire Farms makes them, but it's this little 4x4 thing of like charcuterie. It's like a little to-go charcuterie. It's like little rye crackers with pieces of salami and cheese, and you just stack them up. It's a Lunchable
Like
for
a
adults.
I was gonna say a Lunchable.
It's Lunchables for adults, man.
Okay.
But they are so, they're so good. I probably should not be taking in all that fat and sodium, but man, they're good, and it feels like a guilt-free little snacker.
I'm not gonna lie. When I think of Hillshire Farms, I think of processed weird food I'm not eating.
Probably some of that going into me when I eat those. When you go on the road.
Yep.
We'll say 3 hours because that's the one we normally drive. We're 3 hours apart. What are you going for?
Usually I will bring like a protein bar.
Yeah.
If I haven't had that already, protein bar is a good thing.
What kind though? What's
We
your
get ours
go-to?
from Costco. So it depends.
Okay.
We order them every couple weeks.
So
to
you
have them
got
on deck.
you'll keep them around.
Yeah,
then.
they're
they are
Kirkland's.
cheaper that way. 'Cause
Very
I know
much.
if you buy one, it's like $2.50. If you get them
Dude,
wholesale,
they
it's
run
probably much cheaper.
$3-4 around here a piece. Quest.
Quest is good.
Quest has a maple glazed donut one.
Okay,
Holy crap!
I had the one bar, which to me like Quest and one are like
Yeah.
whatever.
They're both good.
Yeah.
One's
But I had the maple glazed donut of theirs today, and it was fantastic.
Find myself thinking about that protein bar sometimes.
It's pretty damn good, man. It's that one, and I'm a big fan of birthday cake, man.
I was gonna say
anything birthday cake.
both of those, the Quest and the ones,
They're really good.
very different.
Yeah.
In their approach.
Yes,
but
but also both
Very
adequate.
Good. Yeah. So
Valid.
protein bar, I'm going. Almonds is a good road snack.
Almonds is good.
Yeah,
right?
especially if you get it like in the sleeve.
Oh
tear
yeah.
the corner off and just kind of
Down the hatch. Yeah.
Have you had the salt and vinegar almonds?
Salt and vinegar almonds. No,
Dude.
I have not.
They're kind of hard to find. Do you like salt and vinegar in general? Like
I do.
chips?
I like salt and vinegar chips. I'm trying to think of other things. I think it's mainly just chips that do salt.
Mostly
and vinegar,
chips.
right?
I don't know what else. There's no salt and vinegar ice cream. Like, it's usually chips.
Yeah, it's
Dude.
2024, man. Anything's possible.
When I can find them, I'll buy them whether I wanted almonds or not.
Wow.
They are unbelievable. And not to keep bringing it back to Bellevue. but
I was there today, man. I saw the town. There's nothing there. There's no. What is your obsession with this town?
The Eagle Mart has salt and vinegar almonds.
Really?
Yes. And so I picked me up a pack, crushed them.
I'm stopping at the Eagle Mart tomorrow,
Dude.
man.
And we had a discussion about this briefly off air, and you said, but there's 2 convenience stores.
There
and
are.
I said, no. There's only one true convenience store.
Eagle Mart.
The Eagle Mart right here. Almonds definitely. And sometimes if I'm feeling bad, like a bag of chips.
Bag of chips,
Yeah.
yeah. You got like a default? You like a Ruffles guy? I love kettle cooked. I want a crisp, crunchy
Okay,
chip.
that's good.
Yeah.
See, I usually don't get that at the gas station, but
Right.
if
Not
I'm going to my
everyone's got it.
sandwich shop,
Yeah.
it's always like the kettle.
Oh, I love kettle chips, man.
And I'm a big fan of just an energy drink on a short drive.
Me too.
It's kind of weird because that makes you usually want to like go do things, but I feel like if I can sit this over the next 3 hours, it kind of gets me like in a good mood, and I don't know. I dig it.
It's weird because like when I'm driving for longer periods of time, I like to be able to think, and I think if I have an energy drink, it's like you said, like you would think the impulse would be to like get up, move around, or do anything. Like you wouldn't be able to sit still. I feel like it helps me enter into like a useful like zone out.
It's like if
better.
you can't physically let it out, it just comes out in here in your head. Yeah.
I've driven full hour, 2 hour swaths of a road trip with no music or anything on. Get an energy drink in me, and I can think long and hard about a topic.
You know what else?
For a while,
we'll pass some time by on a road trip, or just to drive at all, is on a phone call.
Yeah, I called my mom and my dad coming up here separately, and the trip went by like nothing, dude.
For work, I travel a lot just around the area, like locally. That's not really travel, but if I'm ever like on the phone, like 30 minutes can disappear and you won't even know where they went.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder why I don't, because calling someone in my house,
right? No,
is a nightmare. I don't want to do that, but I do get a kick out of calling people when I'm driving. And it absolutely does makes the time melt away.
It's good. It's a good time to call your mom, you know?
It is, yeah. I like to call, I'll call and check in with my dad, which my dad, he's real soft-spoken.
Yep.
Doesn't necessarily talk into the mic when he's talking. So a lot of times I'm just kind of going like, oh, yeah, big time, man. But my mom, God bless her, speaking clearly and concisely into the microphone. So,
well, what's your go-to road snack?
So my adult Lunchable that's my new favorite for sure. That's honestly, like I probably need to like evaluate how many of those a week I'm having. They're really good. I love jerky, man. I really love good jerky. I like Jack Link's is fine. You know what I mean? Just the stuff you can find anywhere. But I really am always interested in the local, like tough as boot. You all right?
Got some Chinese come back.
Yeah.
Excuse me if you're listening.
He held it in as tightly as he could, and it burst out, man.
We don't have a cough button yet, so
We'll make one.
I apologize for that.
No, you're good. Man.
Proceed.
You're good. Yeah. I love like the local jerky that's like real tough.
Is it the one with like it looks like the sticker was printed off and it's usually kind of sideways on the bag?
The bright green neon sticker that's like 4 for $1 or whatever. Okay. Yeah, love that. I've been on a big Cheez-It kick, man.
Cheez-Its are I got a box in my pantry right now.
I love if you got Cheez-Its, you're not going to have them tomorrow. It's full disclosure. My favorite thing sounds kind of gross. Like normally I know people don't want to know what happens once it goes past the lips. I take 2 Cheez-Its, I pop them in my mouth, I put one on either side of my teeth, and I let them kind of like soften up just a little bit.
No.
And then they just like poof away in your mouth.
You like them to get soggy.
Not like mush.
Okay.
Mush and crunch.
So are we talking like vertical by the teeth like this? Okay.
Yeah. And when you bite down on these Cheez-Its, you are biting them vertically. But because you've softened them up, they kind of just very satisfyingly tumble away.
We'll have to try that after this.
I'm telling you, man.
We'll have to try that.
That's really good.
The ear swab, and then your itchy legs. Dude, like, I'm just learning.
Y'all didn't even know this was a self-care podcast, but between Cheez-Its and ears and cotton swabs, I'm gonna have y'all on the right track.
I'm learning so much more info about you doing this podcast. I thought I knew you.
And my itchy leg thing.
And your itchy leg. Has it been resolved? Or are we still dealing?
No,
have you had that since we talked about it?
I'm trying to think. My dreams have been crazy lately.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get my sleep straight. And so I've been taking melatonin occasionally to help me fall asleep.
Sure.
At a more decent hour.
Yeah.
I've been having some wild dreams, but no tiny animal attacks that give me the itchy leg thing. And no one has come forward and said, I also suffer from that, which tells me I am broken. But yeah, no recent occurrences, at least.
That's fun. I'm listening to a podcast right now where, for whatever, they're having a guy on who wrote a book or about this or that. And the question is, could an NFL athlete take on like a coyote or not like a coyote? Like could he take it on?
I feel like one coyote I could handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I meant to say wolf. What about a wolf?
Okay. Well, a wolf might be a little tougher for sure. If it was one wolf, I think I could probably be okay, but I'm definitely not walking away from that like okay. I mean, that wolf's going to get some chomps in, man. Coyotes are notably like meek. They're like they really only attack things that are smaller or wounded.
Right.
If it's me and a coyote in a room, sorry,
on site,
you're a rug, bud. But a wolf, like I feel like it's gonna be a fight.
That's like the threshold. Like coyote, we're cool. Wolf,
it's just in their temperament, man. No one in the movies is getting attacked by coyotes. They're getting run down by wolves. You know what I mean?
A pack of wolves normally.
I mean, pack of wolves. I caught the tail end of a movie that I haven't seen the whole thing, and I probably should have. It's a movie with Liam Neeson called The Gray.
Taken? Just kidding.
Taken, yeah. It's a movie called The Gray. This dude gets basically like in a plane crash.
Yeah.
All of his buddies die throughout the movie or whatever. But he's being chased by a pack of like wolves.
I saw
in the snowy mountains,
either like in theaters or when it came out. I'm familiar.
Yeah,
I don't remember anything about it, but yeah.
The last scene is him. He takes a bunch of like the airplane bottles of like vodka and stuff, and he like tapes them to his hands and smashes them so they're all jagged.
Yeah, and
he's like fixing to duke it out with these wolves, and then it cuts to the credits.
What?
I'm like, dude, okay. I wanted to see him go fisticuffs with these wolves.
He started telling the wolves, I have a very special set of skills.
Yeah. I don't know who you are. Yeah, so not much of a payoff, but yeah.
Speaking of, like, earlier we were walking out of the park, and I just mentioned, like, wild cats.
Yeah.
And there's something about, like, a panther.
Yeah.
Like a cat that's as big as me or bigger than me that doesn't give a fuck about anything.
You talk about itchy legs, man. I We talked about anytime I'm in Red Dead, even a video game, and you hear because you'll hear them when they're around in that game. Right. They'll give the
yeah.
It makes me scared. It makes my body feel afraid.
Almost more than like a bear or something. It's like the high pitched, something more like kind of scary about it.
And it's just the way they move and the fact that like it is a jungle cat that lives among us. You know what I mean? Like they're in America. I had a buddy went hiking with a couple weeks ago, who camped at the place where we were hiking out in Oklahoma, and he went by himself, and he was telling me that he heard, I guess, like a female mountain lion out there, when they're like in heat or whatever.
Sure.
They don't roar, they scream. No, like scream like almost sound. He said. Yeah, exactly. He said it's like this inexplicable, like blood-curdling scream, and he was like, "Yeah, I thought I was gonna die."
I've seen those videos of like they're out in the maybe in a hunting stand or something, and you hear something that it could be human.
Sounds human.
It's probably not, but the thought of it being human, being like, I don't know, something trying to lure you out into the forest or something. That is one of the scariest thoughts to me.
Terrifying. I really would like to do a little more camping in my life. I do enjoy hiking, but good God, I'm so afraid of being mauled.
And I feel like you got to be strapped.
Like
you have to be.
You gotta keep that thing on you.
Maybe you know 2 things.
Yeah, straight up, John Wick that shit.
Akimbo out there.
Yeah, exactly, man. Dual wielding out there in the wild.
Oh man, that's funny. I was gonna show you something. Here's where an interstitial will go.
All right.
Which also, by the way,
anus.
Yeah, I got no comments on my awesome interstitial.
There were a couple in the Discord that came out. Everyone was much appreciative of the interstitial.
Well, if you said that, thank you. If you notice, like I'll do the timestamps in the description.
Right.
And for the sleep token one, which I figured was going to be the most important story or the most viewed, I made sure it started right before that interstitial. So if people clicked that, it would immediately start with that. It came together very nicely.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. It was. Well, interstitial.
Everybody sucks. Anus.
I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
It's not that crazy. Don't overstate it here.
I'm amped.
As a couple people who are fans of tattoos, you're tatted man yourself.
Got 1 or 2. Yeah, yourself. Yeah.
Do you know who MGK is?
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yes. Okay.
Oh yeah. Who is?
No. I don't. Not a fan. That's not what this is about.
No. He sucks.
Do you know like why he's in the news right now?
So he got some like very obnoxious tattoo.
Okay. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like the Blackout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obnoxious.
Is that okay? Like what?
I don't care. Here's the thing. If he had gotten it and been like, yeah, like me, I got a shark. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's being super moody about it.
Yeah.
I know the bare minimum about this. To
sure.
be clear, I'm not. If I see anything dealing with MGK in my news feed, I am immediately like, don't care about that. But I, for whatever, through osmosis, know enough to know that he is being very like it's some kind of like artistic, spiritual thing for him. And I'm not making fun of anyone who needs to tie some kind of deep spiritual meaning to their tattoos or anything. But I am absolutely making fun of MGK for doing that because that dude is a living clown.
This is less about MGK. It's more about, I got a lot of thoughts on that. One, ow. No tattoo feels great.
I don't even think it's ow. It's just it's the normal amount of pain times, 3, 4, 5. You know, like
how long would that had to take?
Forever.
Like months.
Like the longest part in my memory, I don't get tattooed often enough anymore, but the longest part it feels like is filling in the shading, the black, right?
And I remember the shading hurting worse than the line, which a lot of people say the opposite. For me, it was just the shading. Like it
because that's one where they're really like digging in.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're mining for something under your skin, right? So that over a vast amount of your
talking to like neck,
like he looks like he's wearing a shirt that is disintegrating.
I feel like, I don't know how, this is a weird topic, like tattoos and regrets, and I don't really have an opinion on that. I don't know how you don't go and end up thinking why did I do that? Like just blacking everything out. I don't.
Had to have been a moment, like, because like the long tattoo sessions, they'll let you get up, take a break,
Right.
whatever, go to the bathroom or whatever. Had to have been a moment when he was a third, a half, 2/3 of the way through, where he was like,
I was say it take
"Oh, we're all or nothing now."
yeah,
I
it took a
guess.
month straight or something.
Yeah,
Like at one point he's half covered and half not, and there's no returning. I just wonder, like, because I've seen people here and there with like the blackout sleeve or whatever.
Sure.
Like, is there a meaning behind that? Is it just a style? Like, what? Why?
I don't know. Like, I know like Kat Von D, the famous tattoo artist.
Yeah.
She did it. She covered up a lot of her tattoos. She recently, became a Christian and started going to church and stuff. So I think for her, a lot of those tattoos were maybe antithetical to that whole thing.
Yeah.
I've seen the blackout thing done on an arm or a large, part of people's skin. Listen, man, tattoos are one of those things that I think, for me, this is just a for me thing. When people take them too seriously,
Yeah.
it kind of becomes more funny for me.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I understand. Like I have a tattoo. My sister passed away. I got a tattoo for my sister. It's very meaningful for me. She would make fun of me if every time I talked about it, I got all corny.
For sure.
She would absolutely be like, "Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Just chill, man."
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Tattoos are just a weird thing that I think people hold in maybe too high of a regard.
I've seen two trains of thoughts. One is, and it's kind of the classic, like, get something that means to you so you always like it. But I've heard people say, get something that you just think is cool because
boom shakalaka.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be so serious.
No.
Not everything you get has to have this deep meaning of like something that happened in your life. Like, you can just think something looks cool and put that on you.
Get whatever. I really love Bloodborne, so I got the Bloodborne guy. Got whatever. Those tattoos are so much more interesting to me. The tattoos that will make me actually want to come out of my shell and talk to people are like things they got from a comic book or a video game that they have that we like. If you have a Metal Gear tattoo and I see you out in the wild, I'm talking to you straight up. Like, but if you have a wolf because your uncle died,
because that's important to one person, you. But if you get something that's kind of got like a broad interest, or a lot of people are interested in it.
And again, it sounds like you should get tattoos for other people. Like, arguably, a lot of people probably don't want people to come up to them and talk to them. But I don't know. Just the tattoos that I like and the tattoos that I want to get moving forward in my life are silly. It's like shit from video games and TV shows.
Cool stuff, yeah. Do you have like your next one planned out or what you want?
Man, I don't think about getting tattoos that often anymore. Do you?
I do. I have a lot of things I want to get. So I've always had a job where like it was tough, and I'm now through all that, I always wanted one still. Like, me wanting more was always there, but like my ability to have it just kind of wasn't. Sure. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm now in a position where I could have them. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And I think there's also something too, like, I've officially gotten out of, I'm turning 30 later this year.
Yeah, baby.
I feel more comfortable about getting one now and feeling fine about it forever and being able to like afford something better and choose it out of like I don't know, just like a fully developed mind, I guess, versus getting something shitty because I didn't have any money. And then, what you think is cool at 18 generally is not later down the road. So I don't know.
I kind of lucked out, man. Like, for some reason, my tattoos might be the only okay decisions I made back then. I got most of my tattoos when I was 18, 19, 20, at least on my arm anyway. And yeah, man, I do feel like now I'm more suited to choose something that when I'm 60 years old, that I'll be like, man, yeah, that makes sense. That, that doesn't bother me now. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think about it as often right now. I think in the things that I'm trying to do for myself and for my family, like going and getting a tattoo. I also just, when it comes to anything cosmetic for myself beyond going to the gym,
Sure.
like I don't have hair, so I never have to think about my hair.
Right.
You know, I'm not a big clothes or fashion guy, so you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do think about tattoos that I want, but I don't have one like in the shoot.
You don't have like this one's next.
I want to get some Metal Gear tattoos.
Yeah.
Like I really fucking love Metal Gear,
Yeah.
so I definitely want to get probably like the Foxhound logo and stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, nothing. No crazy. There's no deep design at work or anything for me. Like people ask me about this shit I already have, and I'm like, sharks are cool. I'm from Texas. That's a bird. You know, a lady. I don't know. No meaning. No real meaning tied to these. So
interesting.
Yeah.
The blackout thing was really
weird.
weird.
I don't know. The more and more like social media evolves and blurs this line between like celebrities and just us regular people, and you really get the insight into their life. A lot of them make silly decisions all the time.
Yeah.
Like if he was a guy that would just lived across the street from you, you wouldn't want to hang around him.
No.
I feel like most famous people make decisions on a daily basis, and I'm like, what? So a couple weeks ago, I didn't know this, man, but a couple weeks ago, the last in-person episode that we did, you came to me the day you left.
Yeah.
It snowed where I was at. And I didn't put two and two together that you had to drive through that, but it sounds like you had a rough go of it.
I did. If I was better at this whole podcasting thing, I would have saved this story. So my wife had warned me that like, hey, there's a winter storm coming through. I think even your wife had said something maybe.
Yeah.
And I wanted, like, there's nothing I could do about it. And I just didn't think twice about it. So I had a nail in my tire that I knew about.
Yeah.
I was aware that it was there. Every 2 or 3 days, I'd have to go put air in my tire. Have you ever had that? Where it's like a slow leak, you know? It's just.
So, okay. Well, you had told me that you didn't go get it taken out because it's just the time requirement, right?
Yeah, well, I had been dealing with it for multiple weeks prior. So I had plenty of opportunities to go. It's just around here, like the tire shops, you have to get there when they open. And before the door opens, there's a line of people.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what,
It's your whole
you're
day.
going to wait around for hours trying to get I just don't have time to do that. So I knew there was a nail. I could see it in the tire. And every 2 or 3 days, my car would say low tire pressure, and I would just go fill it up.
Yeah.
And so on the Friday when I was supposed to come see you, I had called a couple tire companies thinking I probably need to get this fixed before I drive 3 hours and get stranded.
Yeah.
I'm not even totally sure there's a spare in my car. Like some cars nowadays don't have spares in them.
They don't.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I should have checked, but I didn't. I very much just firing from the hip, like hoping I get there. And so I aired up before I leave. I can't get it fixed that Friday. I drive down there. It's fine.
Yeah.
I do have this slight lingering fear that like going 80 miles an hour down the highway in the middle of nowhere. Yes, my tire is just going to like be done.
Disintegrate.
Yeah. And so it was fine. I made it all the way down there. No big deal. I didn't drive my car once while I was there.
Yeah.
And then on the final day, so left Friday, Sunday, I'm leaving. And I knew it would be low. No big deal. And that winter storm is rolling in that morning, right? So I pack all my stuff. I get in my car. My tire PSI is at 17. So it's supposed to be like 35. It's like half. And so there's a little mark.
Did it have the visible like?
It was low.
Yeah.
It was low.
Yeah.
And they were like low profile tires.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of sidewall to work with.
Can I say there's nothing more frustrating, and I know it's just people trying to be a good neighbor. There's nothing more frustrating when people like you pull up. You ever have low tire pressure and you know about it, and you pull up to a stoplight and someone's like, "Hey,"
waving, "Hey,
your tire." You're like, "I got it. I know. I got it."
I actually, you know what? Quick sidebar. The other day I was at the gym and I was sitting in my car before. Sometimes I'll drink my pre-workout in the car, just kind of get pumped, jam out a little bit before I go in. And there's a car in front of me and the tire was really low.
Yeah.
And I saw a lady get in her car and I was like, it was on the opposite side. I was like, I wonder if she knows that.
Ooh.
And so I had this whole, mental gymnastics of like, do I say something? Like, I definitely don't want to approach the car, you
Yeah.
know? And she starts to pull away. So I get out of my car and I kind of just do this, you know, and she stops. She looks at me and we kind of have this weird moment. And I'm like, I just point. And I think she probably thinks like, this guy's trying to get me to get out of my car. You know, there's all kind of weird. And I'm just like, whatever. So she drives by, rolls her window down. I was like, hey, you might already know this. Your front right tire is like really low.
Yeah.
Really, really low. And she didn't know. And she said, thank you so much. And
Okay,
there was a
see?
gas station in the same parking lot. I had been there because I've been dealing with it. And I'm like, if you go right there, you can air it up.
Nice.
She said, thank you. Okay. So that ended. I think I made the right move there.
You did. Hey, that's you
Trying
helped her
to
out.
not be creepy. And you still like have a dusting of creepiness.
I mean, you know, it's easy to feel like suspicious of people these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if like from a woman to a man. Like I'm consistently aware of like anytime I've had to address a woman I don't know in public, I'm like,
Look,
I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm not gonna hurt anybody.
oh. So anyway, I get out to my car at 17 psi.
Yeah.
No big deal. I'm gonna drive to the Little Mart on base, and I get there. It's working. Awesome. Free air.
Yeah.
Even more awesome.
Yep.
Not everywhere has free air. Paying for air. Air. Like, what is that? It's everywhere. So I stick it in my tire, and after a few seconds, I notice it's not filling up.
Yeah.
In fact, it looks like it's going down. So I tried a couple more times, go look at my dash, and it's now at 10 psi.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, we're going the wrong way here.
I feel like the danger with the free ones is that attracts the people who aren't going to take care of the shit, and it's always like at risk of being broken or just completely inop.
The fact that it was like quadruple wrapped in duct tape probably should have
It's an
sent
indicator.
off some red flags. So I decided I'm not going to keep messing with this one. We're going the wrong direction. So I drive off base. There's a Valero up on the right.
Right.
And me, I hate that I'm the way that I am. I am such a pessimistic, everything's going to go wrong person.
Yeah.
And driving to that gas station, I said, this one's not going to be working. That's how things go.
You called it, man. You manifested
I pulled
that
up,
shit.
not in order, not working. I just kind of laughed, chuckled.
You didn't chuckle.
And then I find the third place I stopped, it worked. So long story short, I got air in the tire, but out there trying to air my tire, it is like raining,
And it was
freezing.
like 30.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was really close to like freezing rain.
Yeah.
Soaking wet. I had these on, so I got wet socks.
Oh no.
Soaking wet everything else, and I got a 3-hour drive in front of me, and I was like, well, this kind of sucks.
This sucks. Did you do like? I would just cut the heater on. Honestly, I would have been full blast heater the whole way home. Yeah. You don't like being. You hate being hot a lot more than I do.
You can be hot and still wet. Like I don't. That's not
Okay,
gonna.
hold on though, because you are on the cold shower train right now.
Yes, every morning.
And I know that obviously that's different because that's in your control.
Mm-hmm.
But do you feel like you are better suited to cold conditions now that you've been doing that?
I don't think so. I've always liked the cold weather better, as long as I can remember. Like, maybe it has a little bit, but I just, I like what the warm summer sunlight does for a lot of people. Like cold as balls does that for me. It makes me happier. If it's cold outside, it puts me in a better mood.
I'm useless in the cold, man. I'm so like, if you got some work to do, it better be warm. Not hot though. It has been the hotter summers are killing me. I will say, like, I hate the summers in this region of the country.
I'm already like, I feel like we're past winter, and I'm like, I'm dreading summer already. Yeah. We didn't have enough winter to make up for what we're about to deal with.
I don't think I realized this until recently, but I want somewhere where it snows a good portion of the winter. I want snow on the ground.
Yeah.
Not the whole winter long.
Right.
But like a cool week or two out of the year.
I need every winter give me at least some snow, and then a week or two of it.
Enough to maybe give me a telework day, which would have classically been just a straight up snow day.
Right.
But there are none of those anymore apparently. But yeah, give me a day off, day to chill.
I just
snow.
Like the cold. It got really cold here for like 2 or 3 days when it was like 0.
Yeah.
And but we didn't get any snow or anything. It just got cold.
That's the worst when it's like it's cold enough to snow
and it's just
and
not.
it doesn't.
Like, what is this?
It's just cold and gray.
I thought cold came with snow. Like that was just part of the deal.
Yeah, growing up, that's what happened. It got cold and then it snowed.
Like it's 0 and there's just nothing on the ground.
Yeah.
So
Weather's
I made it
dog
home
shit.
safe. But yeah, that was our last in person.
I'm glad you did it, man. I'm glad you made it safe anyway. These in-person episodes are just a lot more fun
They're way
to
better.
me. I feel like the cadence is always a lot better, but
This might be our most chill.
this is, man. We put these chairs together an hour ago, maybe.
I had a backup plan. This was going to be the setup. I spent yesterday like placing stuff, making sure it would work. But I had that office chair that you can't see and another chair that looks nothing like that. And I was like, well, it doesn't look great, but we can sit in it. Yeah. And I started perusing Amazon and I was like, I need something that can get here tomorrow. Yeah. And these chairs got here like a couple hours ago.
They're not bad. I feel like I'm in a throne. I feel like Kratos.
I will admit they were way bigger than I thought they were going to be. Eat up a lot of my office real estate here, but there's nothing in here to begin with, so
good with it.
Yeah, I like it. This is our first time filming in here.
Yeah, I know. Not our last. And we got the table, man. This is the table. I feel like probably someone out there has heard the story of this table because it is technically world famous.
Technically, yeah. This table definitely has a story behind it.
I would like to hear it, even though I know it.
This table is how I met my wife.
It is.
And so I had this table and I was selling it on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. Where all deals are made.
Where all love is connected. And my now wife was buying this table. And the funny thing is, girls must love this style of table or the look of it, because I got 100 messages on this thing, a ton of them.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like her sounds very shallow, but her profile picture stood out to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And she asked me, I got 100 people. I'll come pick it up right now.
Yeah.
And she's like, can you hold it till the weekend? And I'm like, and she's like, I'll pay you a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. The profile picture and you're going to pay me more money. I'll hold on to it. That's fine. So she came by, got it. I told her how to put it together, put it in her car. And then after she drove off, I went and called my friend. I was like, dude.
Table chick.
Yeah. Table chick.
I remember you telling me about it. It might have been after the fact. I think it was after you reached back. Well, yeah. Keep going with the story. It gets good.
That's from that point. I just asked her. I was like, "Dude, should I like reach out to her? Or just kind of this is what it is." And he's like, "No, reach out to her." So I messaged her back, and I was like, "Hey, I realized you were just trying to buy a table, but would you want to go out sometime?" And she said yes. We went back and forth for like a month. Yeah. She actually dipped out on me like several times. She said she was sick, and to this day, she'll remain saying she was sick. I think she was lying.
She might have had COVID because this was like early 2020.
Right before. And so this was December 2019 that all this happened. Okay. Early December 2019.
Yeah.
I think we hung out for the first time like January. So it was actually like all of December that we went back and forth. And we had plans multiple times. She ended up bailing. From her perspective, I get it. Like hanging out or going to meet up with some random guy. Like we had briefly met when we exchanged the table. Yeah. But other than that, I was like, who knows who I was, Yeah. And so we met up. We went on 2 dates the first weekend, back to back. And the rest is history. Now we're married and got a little girl on the way. But
it's so good that you still have the table, man.
It is. It normally doesn't reside in here. I brought it in here to record. It's in our little side room over there, but it was at our wedding, and it's just the craziest. Like selling a table and
now it's
meet a wife, and we got together like we hung out January of 20.
Yeah.
So I think by February we were like actually dating, and then March is pretty much when everything went to shit.
Yeah.
So within like 2 months of us even meeting, within a month of us starting to date, we were walked in together.
Yeah.
Like immediately. It was really strange.
That's how you're gonna know, man.
We survived that.
That's how you're gonna know.
It was weird because like a year into being together, technically,
Yeah.
when everything kind of started to open up and we would start to go to bars together and stuff like that, we realized we had been together and known each other for about a year, but didn't know how each other acted like out in public, you know, which is like a thing, everybody's kind of got their like behind closed doors and this is how they are in public.
Yeah.
And to know somebody and be together for like a year and not know that side of them, and then to be able to go out and start doing like the fun stuff and realize there's a whole side of this person that I don't even know, is just, it's not the way that most people unfold to each other. It's a really unique way.
It was a very non-typical like path for you guys to take, man. But I feel like everything that happened in those years, like, not to distract, definitely don't want to spend a long time talking about COVID because that's a bummer. But
sure,
I feel like everything that happened in those years was just so like off book.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just like off script. But
that was 4 years ago now.
That's wild to think about, man. It's wild to me to think that. And I remember because we had just bought a house. So talk about, for us, like we had bought a house and within weeks of buying it, we're locked in it.
Yeah. Hopefully you like the house.
Well, we didn't right away, honestly. Like we kind of like wasn't even buyer's remorse. It was just kind of like we were living on base in a really nice house, and we bought kind of an older home that needed work and stuff. Some stuff was broken that we didn't catch in the inspection and stuff. But yeah, man, those first few weeks we were like, this house ain't it, man.
No.
But yeah, just an odd time. But I'm happy for you guys, man.
It worked out well. And the cherry on top of this whole story is we had the Dallas Morning News, who's like the big newspaper here, actually reached out to us like a couple years ago and wanted to do a story. Yeah. And they sent a photographer out to this house, took pictures of us, printed a story like in Dallas Morning News. And that was cool. Yeah. And then like a year went by and we get a message from somebody on Instagram that says, I work for a marketing company. I have a really big client who's interested in like posting your story. I can't give you details, but if we can brief you and blah, 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 you have to sign an NDA, and if you proceed, then they're going to like pick your story up or something like that.
Wow.
And I can talk about it now because it's already said and done. But Meta or Facebook reached out to us. And if you go on Meta's Instagram, you have to scroll back, I don't know, probably 6 months or something. Yeah. Literally like did a story on us.
There you are.
Paid us for it.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Did it feel weird having that like out on the world stage like that?
Kinda. I mean, I've never had anything just blasted to like where a lot of people could see it, like
not yet, baby.
Yeah. No, it was definitely strange. It was really cool though. It was cool that like such a unlikely unique story ended up like on Facebook. I don't know. Pretty cool. Because it was Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. Duh. That's why they reached out.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I guess that makes sense.
I knew that. I just now kind of reconnected those dots. So.
It all comes together in the end, baby. Well, congrats to you guys, man.
Thanks, man.
Interstitial. Everybody sucks. Anus. All right, we're going to do a couple write-ins. We do these from our Discord. We've got the Hardpoint Discord. We'll link to that in the bio. I also have my Discord for Onexpunchxdad. I've got a podcast mailbox in there as well. Jump in there. You can ask us questions. Ask us questions about life.
Anything.
About geese and ducks.
We got some wild ones last week.
We did. Some wild animal ones even. My legs were itchy. This one comes to us. This is the one on the Onexpunchxdad Discord. A_R1C asks, why aren't you playing Helldivers 2? The quick answer on that one is they're having massive server issues.
Are they really?
Yeah, so they did not anticipate the game taking off the way they did. Okay. This is actually like, it is in a world where it's like, it seems like every video game studio and new release is like embattled when it comes out.
Right.
And like the studio shuts down 2 weeks after the game comes out. It is a good story, but also I have to imagine everyone at the studio that made Helldivers is probably their hair's on fire right now. They've sold over, I think, 4 million copies. Their server at the time of launch supported like 50, 100,000 players, something like
Wow.
that.
Okay.
So a lot of people logging in trying to play.
That's a tough like line to straddle because you don't want to expect and spend too much and have too much
Exactly.
overhead, and then the game flop.
Yep.
But the inverse is this: you kind of under expect it, and then there's way more popular than what you thought.
I feel like they are in a good position because people actively do want to play this game.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe 3 or 4 nights ago. I was on TikTok just doom scrolling, and no shit, 8 or 9 videos in a row of people playing Helldivers.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
either clips or lives of people playing this game.
It looks fun.
It looks really fun. I know you had talked about getting back into DMZ on Warzone, and I'm kind of like lukewarm on DMZ, but this looks like a little bit of that mixed with, I like that it's third person. I really like to see my character, man. I don't know why, like there is a dress up aspect to video games that I really like. If you unlock some cool gear and at the end of the day all I see are the hands, that's kind of a bummer, you know what I mean?
I get that.
So I'm very interested in this game, but yeah, they're really gonna have to fix those servers before I jump in.
Yeah, my short answer is it's only PS4 or PS5 and PC, which I'm an Xbox guy. I do have a gaming laptop. It's a couple years old. I don't know if it can handle it. I would be down to give it a try.
Give it a try, man.
Yeah.
You know, you can always look at like the system requirements for games and stuff like that. PC gaming is still like I have just barely kind of gotten into it, and it just feels like something could go wrong at any moment.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not used to it, I guess.
Not quite as like polished, and
I kind of like offloading the game function to a console and keeping the PC for like more just other creative type stuff. But
I've never like really gamed on a PC, hardly ever. So
I will say playing with keyboard and mouse is for the birds. That ain't for me. This is a good one from Confed Yank, good old friend from the Discord for many years now. Have you ever LARPed? If so, was it historical, modern, or fantasy?
What is that?
LARPing is live action role play. I wanted to ask this question because I know definitively I have not, and I'm fairly certain you haven't, unless you did and just didn't tell me.
What is that? I don't even understand.
So it's like, have you ever seen? You may not have seen it, but did you ever see that movie Role Models with Paul Rudd and like they get in trouble with the law, so they have to like mentor these kids?
Sounds familiar.
And maybe not. Anyway, it's where people dress up. LARPing, in my vision, is like when people dress up like fantasy characters with like foam swords and shields,
like cosplay.
And stuff. Kind of, but they fight each other, and they have like they actually stage battles.
Okay.
And then you have like reenactors, like Civil War reenactments and stuff like World War II reenactments.
I'm familiar.
I've never done any of that, but it sounds really cool. But the overhead involved, like I, as a father of 4, cannot justify spending more than $100 on foam swords and a cape. Or a World War II regalia outfit, like
a real life lightsaber.
Yeah,
10 grand.
Like, hey, babe, I really need to buy this replica M1 Grand so I can go pretend to storm D-Day.
I feel like as somebody who likes to dress up, being you, that
it would, like I said, it would be a lot of fun. I think I could get into it, but I don't think I could deal with the overhead involved. If I had more, maybe if I had more disposable income and time,
sure.
But I have neither. All right, this one comes to us from the Hardpoint Discord. Edward Pello. What was the first metal song you ever heard? Mine was Iron Maiden, The Trooper. That's a good one. That's a good one to come in on.
Golly.
If I was going to discover metal, I think The Trooper is actually not a bad...
No. Do you remember like when? Like what age? Approximately?
Yeah. I was probably... man... The first like metal song I heard was, I was probably 10 years old, and it was Rob Zombie's the Dragula one. Yeah. That was the first like metal song I heard. It was on one of the Twisted Metal games on PS1, and what was cool about those back in the day is if it had usually games that had really good music on it, you could put that in a CD player and it would play the tracks from the game.
I actually forgot about that.
Yeah. So I ran that one ragged, man.
I don't even know what my like actual first. I feel like it had to have come from like a video game or something like that. Golly, yeah, I have no idea. Where did you hear that?
Where
like
did I hear it?
Well, not like in what form? Like, was it from a game?
It was
like
in the game.
It
yeah.
was in the. Oh,
yeah,
that was in the game. Okay.
That it was in the game, and then there's like a techno kind of remix of that song in The Matrix also.
Okay.
But it was the same song, so I was really obsessed with Rob Zombie for a long time, and of course, like the booklet for that album that song is on is like full blown, like at the time back in 1999 or 1998, whenever it was, like had all kinds of like goofy schlocky like satanic imagery and stuff. So I was like, there's no chance I can bring this to my house. My parents will kill me.
One of the funniest stories of you is you putting like metal music and then labeling it worship music.
I did, yeah. It was Metallica's Black Album, and I had one of those dual-sided tape players that had the one where you could play it, and the other one you could put a blank cassette tape. For you young guys, that's like a little rectangle with some tape in it. But yeah, I would bring home my friends like, parental advisory metal albums, and I would play them onto a blank cassette tape and then label it like praise and worship or Hillsong, because that if my parents saw that, they'd just be like, oh, that's just more of the.
Didn't you tell them that? And they didn't find it funny at all.
I told my dad. It was actually when we were going to see Metallica a couple months ago, and he was kind of like, I thought he would kind of be like, oh, ha, you're a rascal, but no, he was kind of like, It's like he just felt like a life of deception.
Felt duped, How could you do that?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he had a genuine sense of pride when he found me with like a praise and worship cassette tape.
That was one of those memories he had like always remembered, and then you just smushed it right there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Did you wish that you could unsay that and just kind of let him live like thinking what he did? Or
no,
no,
I want to live in the truth, and that was the truth. Like, I don't want to perpetuate a lie. No, I had to fucking sneak because I didn't like praise and worship music at all, but I wanted to listen to power chords and cursing and stuff. So
power chords is the way.
Awesome. What about you? First metal song? Do you remember?
I don't know how people remember stuff like that's a bigger conversation.
Yeah.
Of just memory in general. Like, well, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I heard this is kind of weird and random. I heard somebody the other day say it's like your first kiss. You never forget it.
You don't remember your first kiss, do you?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know who, where, when.
Really?
No idea.
Oh man, I remember what shirt I was wearing when I kissed a girl. Yeah.
Dude.
Absolutely.
I don't. I remember probably who it was, but like the exact one does not stand out to me. I have no idea.
Wow.
Yeah.
My man.
Yeah, just so many. No.
Just blend together with the other ones, really.
I don't know. It just did not stand out to me. So, yeah.
No early, like even just like an early memory of like, oh, this is hidden.
I mean, I got of what of
like metal music,
Oh, I think a lot of it, like for some reason, Metallica's Black Album like really stands out to me.
Sure.
I think I was just trying to remember kind of the timeline of this, but I remember Guitar Hero 2. Like, I was really big into Guitar Hero when it came out.
Yeah.
And they had like Slipknot on there and stuff like that. I don't remember exactly how old I was, so I don't know if that time, like the timeline adds up. Did like Rock 108 ever play any sort of metal music? Could I have heard something there?
Yeah, like they played like I remember hearing Godsmack on there from time to time, which I never liked Godsmack. Linkin Park, Mudvayne.
Yeah.
Mudvayne was on there a lot. And then, just like Metallica. And Screaming was still like pretty rare to hear on any kind of radio rock.
I think it probably still is. Had to have been like a combination of something either games, something on there. I just remember listening to Metallica like, I don't know if that's really metal. It's metal. Does that count?
Yeah, there you go.
Probably something like that.
Okay.
There's a very not specific answer to a very specific question.
That's all right, man. You don't have a very specific memory. It makes sense. Let's see. All right, I got a couple more here. This one comes to us from Fozello. Fozello, my man.
Fozello, been running in for a while.
Fozello. Yeah, it's been a minute, man. Favorite recent game release? I feel like we've been kind of sorry, man. We've been kind of clearing out the backlog a little bit between the two of us.
My recent games have been Cyberpunk, which is not a new release.
Well, I'll challenge that because they came out with the 2.0 update. You know, they put Phantom Liberty out. I feel like even though the game proper has been out for a while, the version of it that we have enjoyed is, I would say that counts.
That one. We haven't technically played this yet, but I downloaded it, and we're going to try it tonight, called The Finals.
The Finals. Okay, this is a complete blind spot for me as this game. The trailer looks really fun.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by this game. It looks like it could be a really good time. I hope the shooting is crisp. That's my only wish.
Yeah, I think I remember the review saying it felt good, and I think the premise is you're like on a TV show. Yeah, it's like a show.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly what that's going to look like or be presented as.
Right.
But it looks fun. It just looks fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Another one I haven't played, but it's out recently. It's called Pacific Drive. It's the one where you're like the car and you have to travel out into the world and like get different. My description is not going to do it justice. It's a little studio, like 12 people that made it.
Oh, wow.
But apparently the map can change itself and you have to go out and do these things. And then there's like a portal that you have to get back to. But as you're getting back to it, random things, like auto-generated things, are happening in the world that are trying to throw you off. Like the road will just change, or like mannequins will pop up, or like something will be chasing you. Like it could be anything. It's called. There's a name for it called. I forget what it is.
Procedurally generated, or
but like in the game they're called like the random occurrences have a name.
Oh, okay.
And it looks really weird and quirky and kind of cool.
Huh.
Totally random.
Okay. Is it on Xbox?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I think so.
Okay.
Besides that, I guess I'll just have to say Cyberpunk. That is a very...
Yeah,
I don't know if it actually counts or not.
I was kind of thinking through the last year. I mean, we both kind of... we both kind of dabbled in Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
We really fell off of that hard.
MLB The Show.
MLB The Show, yeah. Which, not even the most current version, honestly.
The new one's coming out.
The new one is coming out, but the one from the...
23.
What did we play? We played 23, right? 23 was really fun. I really liked Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
That was one. I played that on the road when I traveled for work a lot. Actually, I'm still kind of trying to wrap that game up almost a year after its release, but... yeah, that's probably the most recent game that I played to any real like level of like, you know, depth.
Sure.
I'd say. But yeah, other than that, like I'm trying to think back over the last year. Played a lot of Red Dead again. I'm always running that back, man.
Been my game for the past since it came out.
Yeah,
really,
I mean it's hard to top. It's hard to top. So there you go. We're FOMO doesn't exist around here. We're still trying to clear out the backlog. Last one here comes from my good pal Co-Shocker. Thank you, Co-Shocker. He's running both of my Discords right now.
Yeah.
The homie. This is for both of you. What is the one food that you love that everyone else hates?
That's going to be tough for me as a picky guy.
I know. You hate everything.
That everybody else hates.
I'm trying to think of mine. Because I feel like I could answer this pretty easily because I will eat almost anything. Almost.
Yeah, I think as somebody who's picky and eats kind of like your main foods only.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything. Yeah. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, I like that.
Most people...
You actually got me to come back around to Buffalo, because I hated Buffalo Wild Wings for a long time. A lot of people hate B-dubs. It's easy to hate on a chain restaurant, but I don't know why. About maybe 2 years ago, that restaurant just clicked for me, and I'm always down for B-dubs.
I love Buffalo Wild Wings.
Not even like the food. Yes, the food is good. The sauce choices, the sides are good. The atmosphere. I love being in a Buffalo Wild Wings. I know that's corny of me.
No, dude.
But
like a little place of happiness.
It really is a place of joy. Service not always great at Buffalo Wild Wings. I feel like maybe that's just reminiscent of the hiring issues and all that stuff. But I will deal with that if I
Yeah.
know I got some kick-ass wings coming my
I
way.
love it. My wife hates it. The only time I get to go is with you when we
And
get together.
So when you came to see us last time when we did our last in-person episode, we went to B-Dubs and you were like, if I had a B-Dubs this, because I live. How far would you say I live? Maybe 10 minutes?
Less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Dude, you drive off base, go through 2 lights, turn right, and you're there.
We're
Like, it
there,
was
baby.
Nothing.
We were because if we go to B-Dubs here, it's an event because he lives in North Dallas, and then closest one's probably 30 minutes one way.
The traffic is terrible. It is a minimum of a 30-minute drive one way,
Yeah.
and that's if traffic's not that bad.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a 2.5 hour event,
Yep.
maybe
Maybe
longer, depending on how long you
gotta
sit
want
there.
them wings, man. You gotta want them wings.
And that was kind of our ritual when you would come. And I think one time I was like, dude, I love it.
Yeah.
It eats up so much of our time, though. Like, let's just get something closer. Like, I have my limits, you know.
A thing that I love that most people hate. I love KFC. I think we talked about KFC on a recent episode. I feel like, but I fucking love KFC, man.
Has sparked. Okay, yeah. KFC's fire.
I do. Most people don't like it. Like in the argument of what chicken place is better. I have a video about this, about literal just chicken restaurants.
Where do you fall on Popeyes?
Number one.
Okay.
Okay. I fucking love Popeyes. Don't get me wrong. KFC doesn't hold a candle to Popeyes, but there's things that KFC makes that you can't get at Popeyes that I go to KFC specifically for.
They have one thing, and it's a limited thing, and it's the Nashville hot macaroni and cheese chicken bowl.
That's what we talked about.
Yeah.
The bowl, right?
Yeah.
My thing, I like the famous bowl, the mashed potatoes with corn,
Yeah.
Little popcorn chicken bites,
Sure.
and then gravy on top with cheese. That I could bathe in it.
Yeah.
It's so good to me, man.
Your answer sparked one of mine. Long John Silver's chicken strips, bro.
You like Long John Silver's?
Love
That
Long John Silver's,
restaurant is really bad, man.
dude. Their chicken is unlike. They got the crisp, like nobody else has been able to figure out. They got the little the hush puppies, the crunchies at the bottom.
Hush puppies are the worst.
Dude, what about the crunchies?
Listen, man. I remember being a kid because my parents like Long John Silver's because they're 70. They're old. I remember the Crispies being kind of like, ooh, a little treat.
Yes.
I cannot, as a grown man, justify eating just fried batter. I get it. But also, like, that is seriously like purchasing some cookie dough with the intention of just eating it as it is and not cooking it. You do that too.
Dude, it's pretty good.
It is good, but you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't do it on a regular basis. I will say I haven't been to Long John Silver's in a long, long time.
I can't get behind Long John Silver's, man.
But I think I was keeping them in business.
It's a good answer because that restaurant
Yeah.
is absolute.
That is one place where when you pass one, it's not often.
Yeah.
You wonder
How is it open?
how is that place still open?
It's a front for the mafia. That's how.
like Mattress Firm.
Probably something.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Long John Silver's is sus to me. The only other thing I'd say, and this is like not, I mean, like people all over the world, but I'm the only person in my house and probably in this room right now that will eat a pickle.
Not the only one in this house, but the only one in this room for sure.
I love pickle. Your wife. We've shared a pickle before. Not a pickle. We both had pickles from the same jar.
Yes.
But we've connected over pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone in my house hates pickles,
Dude.
It's kind of a nice problem to have because
they suck.
if I've got a jar of pickles, I know all of those
they're
pickles
safe.
are going in my belly. But yeah, everyone in my house hates pickles.
Oh, dude. You know what? I'm going to go out. I've never eaten a pickle.
You've bitten into one that was put on an errant pickle that was put on your sandwich before. You have to have.
Possibly.
I know you're going through the drive-thru telling them no pickles.
Yes. And I'm checking.
And I know they're.
I'm not biting into it without checking.
Are you always? You're doing the lift.
Yeah.
The lift.
Yeah.
What's your like? You get your bag. Do you check it right there at the window, or do you roll forward?
No, because I'm also somebody who hates inconveniencing others.
Yeah.
So I will get out of the way.
Yeah.
I'll go check it, and then if I have an issue, I'll contemplate just throwing it away because I hate confrontation, or going in and getting it fixed.
Do you know I have figured out a way that they get your order right every single time?
Share.
You just order it the way it comes and you fucking eat it.
Shut the fuck up.
You don't make any alterations. You don't make any modifications whatsoever. You just say the number one.
Dude, that's a funny. Okay,
the chicken sandwich.
As somebody who routinely deals with my order being wrong, I think that
the way you lit up like I was gonna give you a life.
Dude, I thought you had like a hack. I'm like, dude, share what?
You just take it as it comes, man.
I think that's something that I think that everybody deals with, and I'm just now realizing, like,
no,
it's just me.
You can circumvent that whole thing and just eat it.
You want to know the worst is there's a lot of food that's easy to check. Like a sandwich, you can check, right?
Yeah.
But when I go to like Taco Bell and I get a beefy 5-layer that has sour cream on it,
it's worked in.
It's hard to check that.
You can't.
And if you open it, it never goes back the same way.
Now you got a cattywampus burrito.
So your test.
Do you probably feel even worse when you check it and there is no sour cream, but now you've opened up a perfectly good burrito, and you have to like
sheepishly kind of. Dude, yeah,
that's good.
That's an ender. Yeah,
you're clipping that right there.
That's hilarious.
Oh, that's funny. Hey, thanks for tuning in again. We are so happy that you're enjoying the show with us. Make sure and like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening, give us a star rating, leave a review. That means so much to both of us. I don't know. We don't really have anything to hype up right now, do we?
Next week's episode.
Next week's episode, baby.
We're going to try and get on a more like in-person, do more in person.
We're still figuring this thing out, and we're trying to like find a trajectory that helps us bring in more stuff.
Right.
But I think just getting the reps in right now feels really, really good.
Yeah. It's starting to feel more natural.
It is.
Hopefully getting better at it. Hopefully dialing the quality. I wasn't going to say anything, but upgraded the camera quality a little bit. 4K.
Yeah.
Trying to like at least here when we record at my place, it's not at my kitchen island or whatever, which is fine, but hopefully this is what it will look like every time we record here. So there's a little bit more consistency. Yeah. And then at your place, we got that figured out. So I feel like we've had like 10 different scenes of recording, which is fine. But now it should be like this, the virtual, and then at your place. Like you have a little bit of familiarity.
We're going to get it stable.
Yeah.
But we're always thinking and working, moving and shaking.
Working and twerking.
Yeah. But hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm Josh.
Whoa.
I tried to keep it serious. I hope that you're all Baja blessed this week.
I thought.
Are we doing? We were saying our names at the end of the podcast for a long time. I feel like we shouldn't do that anymore.
You don't think so?
It's hard to tee it up. I feel like I always drop it at an awkward moment. You're over here getting Baja blessed. You weren't about to sound off.
You know what? Okay, this can be on air, but for off air.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere that said, don't make the ending a big lead up, because that's typically when people, like most people are going to tune out at that point.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell people the ending is coming, because that's going to cut off like your average duration.
Yeah.
Like you should just talk, and then when it's over, be like, all right, see ya, end.
Bye.
So then people are more likely to actually make it to the end. If we start our outro 5 minutes from the ending, a lot of people are going to stop 5 minutes before the actual ending. If we're going to
do that, then you got to remind me to tell people to like and subscribe at the beginning of the episode, because I always fucking forget.
Yeah. The other thought I had is like previewing what's coming up on the episode. A lot of do podcasts that you listen to do that? Like in the beginning, they're like, on today's show, we have this, this, and this.
Yeah.
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 So maybe in the beginning, we identify, talk about what we have going on, ask you to like and subscribe, and then at the end, we're just going to cut it off mid-sentence. You're not going to fucking know it's the end. Yeah.
Yep. I like that. Baja blessings on you all.
See ya.